Hello violin players, welcome to Pro-Am Strings. This is lesson 14 in the All for Strings violin course. I'm Henriette, and in this lesson today we're learning Jingle Bells on page 23, and Jingle Bells is always a firm favourite of many violin players, so whether it is Christmas or not, it really doesn't matter. Here it is the middle of summer here in England, so we're still going to play Jingle Bells. Now you will find that as we go along in Jingle Bells, I want to give you certain options, and I want us to start thinking about when to play fourth fingers and when to play open strings. We've discussed our fourth fingers and I've introduced them to you early in this book, and now we can just take that idea a little step further, and I'm hoping that by the end of this lesson you'll have a better grasp of when to play fourth fingers and when to play open strings. And I'm hoping that you feel totally at ease playing Jingle Bells as well. So let's go ahead and let's get started. And I'm going to get started as always by checking out my finger line, my thumb, my left wrist I'm pushing out, and my left elbow coming under. And today we're also going to come back to the bow hold, and I want you to think about that bow hold and find your best bow hold that you've had in a long time. So before we start Jingle Bells on the second finger, we're just going to practice D1-2. Now I'm resetting the bow at the heel, and we're going to go slowly, just exploring what the notes are. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, and I'm retaking the bow at the third finger now. The bow now, and if you've just played that all the way through, I can congratulate you on your outstanding progress that you've made. Because this piece, first of all, is long, so you have built stamina to keep it going right until the end. Then it's a little bit complicated, this piece as well, because it uses the fingers in all kinds of different combinations. Of course, you've got the bonus of perhaps knowing this piece, so that makes it easier to play. If you didn't quite make it on this first playing, that's all right, because we're just learning it today. Now you may have observed me playing open A strings wherever I came across them, and that is fine, you can do that too, and certainly when you're first learning this piece that might well be a good option for you to play. But there are certain other ways of thinking, and as we play this again we're going to take regular stops so that we can think about and try different ways of playing. So let's find our first note again. And here we go, from the beginning. Now we're going to stop somewhere in bar 3 when we have the open A string. Just to pre-warn you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's hold it here. Of course, this is one option to play the open A string. it means that you go to the A string and then straight after you go back to the D string to play this bit. So that is fine because you cross the strings to the A string and then you cross the strings again back to the D string. Let's now play this third bar by playing a fourth finger on that A rather than the open A string. So I'm starting straight into bar 3. Here we go. Are you ready? 3, 4. That's it. And now you notice that your bow is much calmer because when you play a fourth finger, you can play all the notes in bar 3 on the same string. That means that while perhaps the pinky is the challenging bit, it is slightly less challenging for the bow when you play a fourth finger. And that is a choice that you can perhaps make at this stage, thinking, would I rather have it slightly easier for the left hand, or would I rather have it slightly easier for the bow? And you might consider these options if you are still hearing a lot of other sounds that you didn't mean to play but just pop into your playing from time to time. You might opt to play a fourth finger here so that your bow can stay on the D string. However, if you think, oh, my pinky, it's really hard to play it, which it will be for many of you, then you might opt for a slightly easier version today and use the open A string instead. And that's something that you can decide for yourself. It's very hard for me to judge that. Let's now continue from bar 5, so on the third finger on the D string, and then we'll consider the A at the end of the first line. And this time I want you to play your fourth finger there. So let's test our third finger. And now we're starting at bar 5 and we're starting at the heel of the bow. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the fourth finger again here, so that my bow can stay on the D string. If you have a sneak peek at the second line, again with the second finger on the D string, we're playing on the D string still. So there is something to say in favour of playing this with a fourth finger and staying on the D string with the bow, to stop the bow having to cross from one string to another and back again. Same argument here. If you say my poor pinky won't do it, or maybe today it won't do it, then you might opt to play the open A string here. Let's continue now on the second line. On the second finger, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. Awesome playing. So you can begin to make choices now. Now I wouldn't always go for the easy option and play the open strings. If I were you, I would make a habit of sometimes challenging yourself. If you find a fourth finger very, very tricky, practice it more and more so that it becomes easier, because in the long run on your violin playing journey, you're going to have to tackle this aspect of playing the fourth finger eventually. So you might opt to do that today. I'll leave that up to you to decide. Now, for those of you who can play this a little bit faster, let's have a go at speeding it up a little bit. So I'm testing my fingers, and I'll count us in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Amazing playing, really, really well done. I don't know if you've heard about Henriette's Violin Club. If you have, you may know what it means, and you may already be a member of the Henriette's Violin Club. If you haven't heard about this, why not check out the video introducing this new membership club. So why am I having Henriette's Violin Club? The reason why I'm having it is that I am always trying to get closer to my subscribers and to the people who watch my videos, and having Henriette's Violin Club is one way for me to get to know you guys, the players, better. And we do that through discussion forums, through question and answer sessions that are exclusively held for members. And the members of Henriette's Violin Club get the special badge so that you can spot the member of the club as well. So if you have never considered it, why don't you test out the video introducing the membership, or you might join straight away by clicking the join button, which you can find right next to the subscribe button. I very much look forward to seeing you again soon. Whether you're a member of my violin club or not, I very much look forward to seeing you in our next lesson. Goodbye.